My name is Esther. But before the crown, before the throne, I was just a girl called Hadassah. I never thought my life would matter to a king, let alone to a kingdom. I never asked to be queen. I didn't seek the crown. But sometimes purpose finds you in silence. I want to tell you a story. A story of a banquet, a broken law, and a God who hides in plain sight. This is the story of how I stood before a king, uninvited, to save my people. Let me take you back to where it all began.
If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more timeless Bible stories told with cinematic depth and fresh voice. Now let's begin. In the days of King Xerxes, ruler over 127 provinces from India to Kush, power was his robe and pride his crown. He reigned from the citadel of Susa, where gold glistened on walls and feasts lasted for days. On the 7th day of his banquet, when wine had made hearts light and reason dim, Xerxes made a command, one that would echo through history.
Bring Queen Vashti before me, wearing her royal crown, so I may display her beauty to the people and nobles.
But Vashti refused the call. She would not be paraded before drunken nobles. And with that, her crown was taken, and a decree was issued. Then came the search, the call for virgins from across the empire. From every province they came, hoping for the favor of the king. Among them was a girl named Hadassah, known in Persia as Esther, orphaned but raised by her cousin Mordecai, a Jew from the tribe of Benjamin. She was taken to the king's harem under the care of Haggai, the keeper of women. She asked for nothing except what was advised, but there was a glow upon her, something unspoken. And in the 7th year of Xerxes' reign, she was brought before the king.
Among all these, she alone pleases me.
And Esther was crowned queen. But she told no one of her people, for Mordecai had said,
"Hide it, my daughter. The time has not yet come."
One day at the king's gate, Mordecai overheard 2 palace guards plotting against Xerxes. He sent word to Esther, and the names were written in the royal record. Yet Mordecai was not rewarded. Then came Haman the Agagite, lifted above all princes. Bowing was commanded for him, but Mordecai would not bend. And so Haman cast the lot, to decide the day for the destruction of all the Jews. He sealed the decree with the king's ring. It was sent out quickly into every land. A date was set, the 13th day of the 12th month. In every province, mourning rose like smoke. But in Susa, Mordecai tore his robes and cried at the gate.
Take him close. He cannot stay there in sackcloth.
But Mordecai refused. Instead, he sent word of the decree and pleaded,
"Go to the king, beg for your people."
Don't you understand? All who enter without being summoned die, and I have not been called for 30 days.
Then came Mordecai's answer, a voice that pierced her doubt.
You think you will escape in the palace. If you stay silent, deliverance will come. But you and your father's house will perish. And who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this.
Tell them to fast for me. 3 days. No food. No water. Then I will go, and if I perish, I perish.
On the 3rd day, Esther dressed not as a queen, but as an intercessor, and she walked toward the throne. Each step weighed with risk. The room held its breath. The law was clear, but Xerxes saw her, and something in his heart stirred.
What is it, Queen Esther? What is your request? Even to half the kingdom it shall be granted.
If it pleases the king, let the king and Haman come to a banquet I have prepared.
The trap was not yet sprung, but the stage was set. Esther's invitation was accepted, and Haman, drunk with pride, entered the queen's banquet chamber with the king by his side. A golden table, sweet wine, but the queen's heart beat with something deeper.
Now tell me, Esther, what is your petition? Whatever it is, it shall be granted.
If I have found favor in your eyes, let the king and Haman come tomorrow to another banquet I will prepare.
Haman left the feast gleaming with pride until he passed the gate. There stood Mordecai, still, unbending, unafraid. Haman's pride cracked into rage. He went home to his wife Zeresh and advisors.
Build a gallows, 50 cubits high. Ask the king to hang Mordecai in the morning.
And Haman, grinning, ordered it built by nightfall. But the king could not sleep. Though the palace was silent, something turned in his spirit. He called for the royal records, a scroll
Mordecai uncovered a plot to assassinate the king. The traitors were executed.
What was done to honor him?
Nothing, my lord.
As morning broke, Haman entered the court, ready to request Mordecai's death. But before he could speak,
What should be done for the man the king delights to honor?
Haman, drunk on his own image, assumed the honor was for himself.
Let him wear the king's robe, ride the king's horse, and be led through the city.
Excellent. Go at once. Do this for Mordecai the Jew, who sits at the king's gate.
And so, Haman paraded his enemy through the streets, shouting honor he never met for a man he hated. His shame was loud, but Esther was still silent. That evening at the second banquet, the king and Haman reclined once more. But this time Esther stood. Her voice no longer trembled.
Now, Queen Esther, what is your request? Even to half the kingdom, it will be granted.
If I have found favor with the king, and if it pleases you, spare my life fought, and the lives of my people. For we have been sold to destruction, slaughter, and annihilation.
Who is he? Where is the man who dared to do such a thing?
The adversary and enemy is this vile Haman.
The room erupted. Haman's face drained. The king stormed into the garden, breath burning with rage. And when he returned, Haman had fallen onto Esther's couch, begging for his life. Will he even assault the queen in my presence, in my own house? At that moment, a eunuch spoke.
There stands a gallows at Haman's house prepared for Mordecai.
Hang him on it.
And so Haman was hanged on the gallows he had built for another. That day, the queen's courage turned the tide of an empire. What is your moment? What risk must you take? Perhaps you too have come to this moment for such a time as this. If this story moved you, leave a comment below. Share how it speaks to your own journey. And don't forget to like and share so others can hear this powerful story of courage and calling.